So welcome to another episode of what is tentatively titled Riding in a Car with Luke. The joys of working on a campus. Gotta watch out for people training in the streets. Seem to be a little out of it. This is the video journal slash video podcast slash rambling incoherentness that I'm possibly going to start uploading to somewhere like YouTube. Monday evenings this fall, I am driving down to our second campus here at our wonderful university to teach a networking class. It is the lone Wi-Fi class for our networking program. This is week 4, though it's technically week 5 of the semester. Monday only class means no week 2 with our calendar because of Labor Day. Oh, good. Yeah, you go that way. I'll go this way. So before I get back into my class and what I'm going to be teaching my wonderful students this week, first news. The Wi-Fi Trek in Nashville was this last week. Some relevant news out of that. There's a new CWSA, which is for Systems Integrators, I think is what the S stands for, but entry-level test on, well, it seems to be a mile wide or 10 miles wide and about 2 inches deep from what the first round of reviews of the material are coming back with. So there is a whole bunch of other radio technologies, non-802.11 radio technologies, Zigbee, LoRaN, a bunch of others I think that they've got in there. And then, do you know how to identify source code by its code structure? Which I guess is a good first step. Well, it's a step. I don't know if it's a good first step, but it's a step towards automation and network programmability. So it sounds like they picked the top couple of languages, Python and a few others, and then threw in some others that I don't really think anybody actually programs a network with, like C#, but I mean, you can't really have a test with only 2 or 3 languages. So. Anyway, that's all mostly hearsay on the course material and what's in it right now. I think it's good that the CWNP folks are not letting things get too stagnant. The industry's evolving, and it's good that they're reacting to it. The other big news is that the CWNE, the top level test certification, will have an application fee as of November 1st, 2019, which with my, let's see if we can get past this guy. There we go. Okay. With my passing of the CWDP in the last week, thank you, I am now just the CWSP and some essays and an application away from being able to put in for a CWNE certification. I don't know if, well, I don't know. It's one of those imposter syndrome things of I've never felt ready, tests aside. Like the CWNEs are people who have the specs memorized and have been doing it for, 10 plus years. But even though I'm at year 11 or 12 of full-time 90% Wi-Fi, I still don't feel like I'm worthy. But that $500 is enough of an incentive for me to try and get my butt in gear and get an application put together. Because hey, even if it comes back as nice try again, there was no cost to rush it out before November 1st and see what happens. So that's my plan. Between taking care of the kids and the home life stuff and 40-hour-a-week day job and this one night a week plus, I think I'm averaging 6 to 8 hours of prep work a week for my class. Somewhere in there I need to fit in some studying for the CWSP to try and get it passed sooner than later. But the DP, I talked about it last week on my video, which who knows when I'll start putting these up, or if I'll put that one up, which last week I'm 98% sure I never went back to double check, but I'm pretty sure that my 10-minute long diatribe didn't get recorded as I meticulously stare at the LED to make sure it's actually blinking this week. And I realized it full minute and a half before campus. So I recorded a super quick version. But anyway, to last week's video, which means the week before that, I took a CWDP class from Devin Aiken. And it was a great class. And it definitely helped with my prep for being able to go in and take the CWDP and get, I think I was above 90 or 90 plus. I don't remember my exact score, but of the 4 categories, I got 100 on 2 of them, and then I got above 80 on the other. So yeah, I think I was above 90 on this one. Not that it matters, a pass is a pass, other than I think you've got to be above 80 to teach if I ever wanted to go for a CWTS. I need a cheat sheet for the things I might talk about on my week so I can glance down and see. But the instructor certification from the CWNP folks, that's kind of assuming that this whole teaching thing works out for a year and I get some documentable experience under my belt, and that I have a desire to pay, I think it's like $400 to get approved and $200 to renew. Anyway, it's a not quite trivial amount to get and maintain that certification, but it would let me work for one of their certified learning partners, training centers, whatever they call them, to do a little bit of moonlighting, doing some teaching, possibly. I don't know. It's one of those, hey, that'd be kind of cool to have on the resume, but not totally practical since I really enjoy my 9 to 5 owning and running a network job. So my class this week kind of wraps up the news. It was very dominated by the Wi-Fi trick. But class this week, this is always an interesting little intersection, sorry. Class will consist of lecture on the David and David book, chapters 7 and 12. So wireless LAN topology is talking about basic service sets and service set identifiers and extended service sets and mesh service sets, and it's kind of a terminology chapter. Not a lot of interesting meat in it, but still important for the test, and I think it's important for engineers who want a job in the industry, especially a Wi-Fi job, to use the correct terminology, or the terminology that fellow Wi-Fi practitioners are particular about. The old WAP debate. Folks tend to give other engineers a hard time if they use the term WAP to mean access point or wireless access point. Anyway, that's a whole other episode. But chapter 12 is Power over Ethernet. When I was putting together the course schedule, that was definitely a chapter that stood out by itself. It didn't really matter when it happened, and I didn't want to do chapter 8 with another chapter. So the next few chapters are really the meat of the content. There's some good stuff, so wanted to make sure that I had a full, an hour or so to lecture, provide additional insight and examples to the students, and BSS and the related trivia and vocabulary seemed like a good chapter to throw the Power over Ethernet in with. For a lab, I'm kind of following two paths. I've got the chapters in more or less chronological, well, not chronological, chapter order. But I've got my quizzes. Oh, wow, that's a new building going up very quick. For my labs, I'm kind of building a foundation and going brick by brick there. This one's kind of I wish I could have done it week one, because it'll help with so many other labs, but I wanted to get the students excited about the tech as well. And so tonight we're going to be doing, let's see, what do they call it? It's sniffer mode. Autonomous sniffer mode. This was something that's been in AirOS, Cisco AirOS, for quite a while, to where you can tell an AP to take all of the frames it hears and toss them out onto, encapsulate them in AeroPeak headers, and then squirt them out over the wire to some machine running OmniPeak or AeroPeak or Wireshark. We're going to use Wireshark in the lab. And then you tell your software to listen on UDP. Let's see, the two ports are 5555 and 5000. I think 5555. Anyway, tell them to listen on a UDP port, or take any UDP frames coming in on, or UDP packets on that port, and decode them as, I think the Wireshark decoder is peak remote, and then Wireshark goes back through and reparses, reanalyzes all the UDP packets it's received, and then makes them appear as if they're 802.11 frames, including signal strength and noise, receive frequency, all the good stuff, so that you can, the reason this exists is to be able to remotely monitor and capture frames, but the reason I'm doing it is because the lab computers are PCs, and it's basically free because of our replacement cycle of 3702s to use these as a wireless analysis tool. See, I don't know what's going on there. They've got a license plate, but I guess their little scooter can't go quick enough. Anyway, I wouldn't be doing this, especially not this early, as a lab if we had Macs or even Linux devices, Linux computers with an appropriate capture device. But I had a limited budget and spent it on PoE switches, and I want to go begging for more money, so I'm going to check out a second AP to all my students and help them configure it to be a frame capture machine. And then as we go forward on future labs, I can say, okay, what does your beacon frame look like? Or what do your beacons look like? And what do a capture of this? And I think it will add to the value of the learning experience. The quiz tonight, before now it's been all multiple guess or guess and match, but I'm kicking in a essay question or a short answer, and I'm telling the students that they better cross their T's and dot their I's and use proper grammar. Work on improving their writing a little bit. The midterm for this class is a 500-word essay. I can't remember whether I ended up doing 500-word or 1,000-word, but 5-ish page essay on some wireless or class-related topic. And we want to make sure that all the students have a bare minimum ability to put together a couple of sentences. On the labs, I'm also, first few labs I was very, do this, type in this, do this, do this, do this. Starting with this lab, I'm ratcheting back just a little bit, and I'm giving them config blobs, saying here's what your dot 11 radio interface 0 needs to look like, and it's up to you to know what is default, what is specific to the AP I'm showing you the example from, MAC address, and what is the meat, what is the important stuff you need to actually be, what is the important stuff you need to actually type in. So here's hoping that they've progressed enough and they're getting comfortable enough to be able to do that. Yeah, let's go right here. So here I have arrived. This has been another episode of Something. I'm your host, Luke Jenkins. Follow me on Twitter at Wi-Fi Luke. And hopefully these become a thing. It's been kind of fun to make them. Have a great day.